right, again, my name is Ms. Young. Welcome to the graduation forum for the College of Arts and Sciences. This is hosted by the Center for Academic Excellence, and my name is Ms. Young. So the graduation forum is held usually in the fall and the spring. They will be virtual from here on out. Again, these sessions are recorded. So if you have to leave for any reason and you want to go back and review the information, you can also find it on the YouTube channel. And I will send a copy to each student who has attended today. So for those students who are currently working with Mr. Lincoln Brown in regards to resolving any issues on your transcript, please keep in mind that he is no longer a coordinator or clearing students for graduation. So when you finish with him in advising related issues, you still have to do the pre-clearance process. So please keep that in mind as you continue on and working with him, which is fine. You still have to do the pre-clearance process after you're done. These are the steps toward graduation. So we're going to talk about academic clearance today, which is starting with your pre-clearance and then ending with your final clearance. And then we're going to talk about the application on bisonweb. Your financial clearance is done through the Bursar and Financial Aid Office. And then you have the ceremony, which is through the Office of Events, and then conferring of degrees, which is handled through the Office of the Registrar. So academic clearance, if you are a junior or a senior currently in this session, everyone has to go through pre-clearance once they reach the semester that they will finish their courses. So pre-clearance is basically us going through your degree works and determining if you've met the minimum requirements to receive your degree. So if you are graduating with a major, minor, and COAS requirements, then it will be reviewed without you present to determine if you meet the requirements. And that includes completion of all of the requirements. Your prospective GPA must be a 2.0 or higher, and that is your cumulative GPA and not your term GPA. And you also must have a minimum of 120 credits, and that includes everything that you're currently registered for that semester must total 120 credits. Once you have been pre-cleared, then you get the okay to go on to bisonweb and complete your application for graduation. That application for graduation then lets everyone know in the university that you plan to exit in that semester. From there, you wait until you have finished all of your classes and you receive grades and you have completed your comprehensive exams. Once those things are in the system, then you have reached final clearance status. They are reviewed to determine if you've met all of the requirements to receive your degree. If you meet final clearance status, you will receive an email congratulating you on completing all of your requirements and then letting you know the next steps. Degree works reviews, you do not need to sit down with an academic advisor in the Center for Academic Excellence to have a one-on-one appointment. Once you submit for pre-clearance, your information is then put into degree works and we actually review it to determine if you've met the minimum requirements. If you have not met the minimum requirements, then we contact you to determine what needs to happen next. So your next steps. If you need to meet with us one-on-one or you need to meet with your faculty advisor. Majority of the students will now be sent to their faculty advisor to resolve any issues with their degree works, especially if it's related to your major or your minor. Reviews will take place once you submit pre-clearance. So there is no preview before the review. So there is no need to ask to speak to someone in CAE or with the coordinator for graduation before you submit for pre-clearance. Pre-clearance is the submission and the review. It's up to you to provide any evidence that you have met all of your requirements. So if you're submitting for pre-clearance, there is an option that you can upload documents to prove that you either had a waiver or a substitution. That could be an email, it could be a formal letter from the dean. It could be a note from you saying this course is supposed to go towards my major and not the COAS divisional requirement. So if you put that information as documentation, then we have verification of completion of your requirement. If you don't put anything, then you run the risk of being denied for it and then questioned on why you don't have it. So it never hurts to just put all of the information that you have if there's an issue. For example, if you are waived from a requirement and the department gave you that waiver, usually they will send you an email saying, please use this as documentation for a waiver of that requirement. You would just simply upload that document with a copy of your degree works, and then it will be reviewed by the advisor during the review period. If you want to know if you're on track to graduate, you're unable to get your faculty advisor and Center for Academic Excellence doesn't meet with graduating seniors. So the quickest way is to look at your degree scheme on DegreeWorks and also on your transcripts. So at the top of your DegreeWorks, you will be able to see what your GPA is. If it's 2.0 or higher, then you're meeting the GPA requirement. If you have earned a 120 or you're currently registered for 120 credits, then you are meeting the total credit requirement minimum. If you are going on your DegreeWorks and you see all of your program is highlighted in yellow, there are no duplicate courses, then you are pretty much completing your program. While passing the comprehensive exam is not a requirement in the pre-clearance process, it is a requirement during final clearance. Most students will take their comprehensive exam in the same semester that they plan to graduate. So that is perfectly fine. You can take it the semester before or the semester that you're currently in applying for graduation. A lot of students will say that they do not want to be denied. In that case, I truly advise you not to wait to apply for pre-clearance. When you wait, you actually limit the amount of time you have to fix any issues that we find. Denial is a good thing in this sense because we're pretty much doing a review of your academic record and we're telling you we see an issue that could prevent you from final clearing. Please resolve that issue by doing these steps. And then once you complete that, then we can update your status to approve. That is confirmation for you that provided you pass your courses and your comprehensive exam for that semester, that you are good to go to clear for graduation. Waiting to submit is not going to eliminate your issue, and then hoping we just let you slide does not work. These things actually create a lot of the horror stories that you may hear. And I've realized that I cannot prevent horror stories, but I can try to educate you as much as possible so that you do not experience a horror story. Knowing your major. This is very important. As you do the pre-clearance process, there is a portion on the application that will ask you, what is your intended major? You are to put the major that you have taken the courses to complete the degree. We know sometimes that DegreeWorks or what is in the system may not be your actual major and minor combination. So if you've taken African American studies courses, but your major in the system says something else, you are to put the major that you intend to get your degree in, and you have completed all of the requirements in. That is how you will be reviewed. If you put a major that you have not completed courses in, you run the risk of being denied. Understanding what the difference is for a major, a minor, and a concentration is also important. Some students will put sports medicine as a major, and it is not a major, it is a concentration. So looking on the form, they will put other sports medicine, but your major is actually human performance. We automatically know that it's sports medicine concentration, okay? So understanding what your major is when you're filling out the form, because this is verification for you to be awarded your degree correctly. The same thing goes for interdisciplinary studies. You are not an international affairs major, you are an international affairs concentration. IDS will be your major, interdisciplinary studies. So when you get your transcript, when you see your degree, it will say interdisciplinary studies. Also looking at the major credit amounts, you can go to your major department website to determine your credit amounts. The average credit amount ranges between 30 to 39 credits, with biology being 64. On your major department, they will list for you what the credit amount is, because sometimes in the semester, they will change the credit amount from 33 to 30. And they will tell you what the prerequisite courses are. So please make sure you are checking your major department website to determine that you're making your major credit requirements. Your minor and your divisional credit courses will vary depending on your elective option, as some courses range between 1 and 3 credits. So please know your major and know your credits. How do you determine if you're going to have 120? So if you're a junior, if you're a senior, and you're looking to apply in the spring of 2022 or 2023, this is how you calculate your credits. So at the bottom of your transcript, you will see transcript totals. In the third column, I believe it will have an earned credit amount. You will add that amount to what you're currently registered for, and it will tell you your total credit amount once you finish that current semester. Okay. If you're applying for the spring semester or the semester that you plan to graduate, then you should be already at 120 with those currently registered classes. If you're doing early bird, for example, students who did early bird, they did early bird in June. They were currently already registered because they pre-registered in March. So they had to add their earned credits plus what they pre-registered for the fall and what they were registered for the summer to get their total amount. And for those students who did early bird, will do early bird for the spring, you will do earned credits plus what you're currently registered for the fall and what you pre-registered for in the spring. That number must total 120 credits or above for you to meet the minimum credit requirement. So this is important because you're going to be registering in the next couple of weeks or days. So you need to determine what on your transcript or your degree works you need to fix before you apply for pre-clearance. So number one, looking at the bottom of your degree works, you are looking for an academy course. Is there a course that says ACAD 007, 018, or 023? If you see one of those courses, please note that that course will be subtracted from your total amount of credits. The easiest way to fix that is just to replace the credits with another course, a college-bearing course. So it can be another course in your major, another course in your minor. It could be a general elective, divisional B, just another interest that you wanted to take. Those courses are considered or were considered, as they're not being offered anymore, non-college bearing credit courses. So they can't be applied as a credit bearing. So if you took Academy 018, that was intermediate algebra. You can't use that as a math course, therefore you couldn't use it as a credit towards the 120. So in that case, you would just replace it with another 3 credit class. If you're exactly at 120, then that is an issue because you do need to do it. If you're above 120, like 130, 140, 128, then subtract away the 3 credits. If you're still above 120, then this is not an issue for you. Double count classes. If you are in a major that has a course that is the same course in your major, your minor, or your divisionals, you may see that course show up multiple times, but you're not getting multiple credits. You're only getting the credit one time. For example, if you are a sociology major and a criminology minor, then you may see sociology 001 show up in your major, your minor, and it also will show up in your divisional B category. But that credit will always be used first in completing your major, which means you did not get 9 credits. You only received 3 credits. You're at a deficit of 6 credits. And this may be contributing to why you're not making it to 120. The easiest way to fix that is to add additional credits. If you want to take additional course to replace the sociology or the administration of justice or criminology minor, or to replace a divisional B, or both, or general courses just to get to the credit amount, you can do that as well. The same thing goes for political science. If you see Poly 001, sometimes you will see it in your major if you're a political science major, and you will see it in your divisional course category. So in that case, remember that if it's your major, it will be used for your major credit only, and you did not get 6 credits, you only got 3. So if you're showing a shortage, that may be the reason why. Repeated courses. As you get to senior year, there may be the opportunity where you had to repeat a course. Please note that repeat courses only show as repeats when the grade is inputted. So while you're registered for the class, the system does not see it as a repeat. Only when the grade goes in does it become a repeat course. So for example, if you're taking sociology 001 because you need it per your major, and you received a D in the course, but you need a C or above to pass the class, and you retake that course. While you're in the course, the class is not considered a repeat. The moment the professor puts in the grade, the system then calculates it as a repeat. The grade will change from a D to the C to be calculated in your GPA, but you are not getting 6 credits. You're only getting 3 credits. Because the D, you were awarded 3 credits already. So the new grade is the only thing that will be replaced, not the credits. So it may look like you're registered for 18 credits total, but you're actually only registered for 15 credits. So this is only an issue if you're exactly at 120 credits, because as soon as that repeat course goes in for a grade, you then automatically drop down to 117 credits. If you're at a 130 or 140, then this issue isn't really an issue for you. Consortium or domestic exchange. Consortium is basically taking courses in surrounding universities. Consortium is usually used when there's not a course available at Howard for you to complete your program. Domestic exchange is basically taking a semester or more classes at any university within the authorized system. If you're taking consortium or domestic exchange, I advise you not to do it your senior year, because those courses still have to transfer over to Howard, and Howard then has to input them in the system. And keep in mind that consortium and domestic exchange classes come over as letter grades, because you're taking the courses as if you are here at Howard. So if you take a course to complete your major requirement and you get a D in a course and it's required per your major, then you will have to repeat that course because you are not completing your degree. Study abroad credits show up twice sometimes on your degree work. So if you do study abroad and you do CIEE program, you will see a placeholder that says CIEE 15. That is a placeholder until you take the courses and then you transfer them back in. Once you transfer the courses back into Howard, they then transfer them into the actual course requirements. So you will see 15 credit classes going towards actual requirements in your degree scheme. However, sometimes the placeholder does not disappear. So DegreeWorks will then read it as 30 credits being applied to your program. So while you're registering for classes, it may appear that you have 130 credits, but if you subtract the 15, you may only be at 119. So those are the things that you have to look for on your degree works to make sure that you are meeting the 120 credit requirement. And I've alerted you to these because these are the highest reasons why students do not graduate within their semester. And once the add drop period is over, it's a little difficult for us to help you with the issue. This is why it's imperative, if you have something and you're concerned about it, that you do early bird, because early bird will start in November. So you will have the opportunity from November until January to fix any issues before add drop ends. And then you're still in the running to graduate within that semester. The online pre-clearance submission, and I will show you the application after this presentation. Online pre-clearance applications pretty much are your personal information, academically speaking. So your name, your ID number, what you expect your major and your minors to be. When you've taken the comprehensive exam, if you are a double major, please check off both semesters that you have or you plan to take the comprehensive exam. If you are currently registered for fall and you plan to take it in the fall and finish your degree in the fall, then you will be checking off the fall semester. If you're going to take it in the spring and you're doing early bird, please check off for that spring semester. You're going to attach all documentation at the bottom of the application. Any emails, any letters, formal letters from the dean or your chair of your department for any discrepancies on your degree works that you might be concerned about. Any emails from your academic advisor within CAE. And then you're going to hit submit form after your signature. You're going to wait 5 to 7 business days. It takes about 5 days for you to be reviewed based on advisor availability. However, on that 8th and 9th day, if you do not receive notification, contact the coordinator and let them know that you did not receive anything. Usually, if it's me, I will contact you and forward you a copy of what was sent, or I will apologize if I forgot to send it, or it could have been an issue where it just went to your spam. So please don't wait a whole month or the day before graduation to say you never received anything, because by that time, if you were denied, it's a little bit too late. Pre-clearance deadlines. So pre-clearance starts each semester after add drop. So if you're doing a fall semester, the last day of add drop is usually when the fall application opens, so September, and then it closes in November. In the spring, early bird is usually open in October, November, and it opens and closes in December. So it opens in November and closes in December, right before the university closes for the break. And then it reopens in January, the last week of add drop. And then summer, it opens the last week of May and it stays open until August. The graduation application on bisonweb, all students who have applied for pre-clearance must be approved through pre-clearance in order to gain access to bisonweb. If you try to go to bisonweb now and you have not received approval, you will see a no curriculum available message. That means that you have to start back and go back to pre-clearance, receive your approval at that time, then you'll be able to get access to bisonweb. If you received approval and you're still getting that message, then contact the coordinator, and just so she can ask you a couple of follow-up questions to determine if there's an issue on why you don't have access. These are the directions to apply on bisonweb. You also have the option, once you apply, you are able to view your application. I always encourage students to screenshot a copy of their application so they remember what they completed. It will ask you if you plan to attend the ceremony. Some students don't remember what they put, but it is listed on the view application screen, so you are able to access that at any time. Final clearance happens for fall graduates in January. Because we leave for winter break, the university shuts down, and sometimes grades are not in on time. So the review cannot start until we're all returned from break. So January, usually the 10th when we return, or the 3rd, until February is when the final days of fall graduation, final clearance happens. Spring graduates, your review does not start until the last week of April into May. So sometimes it can go up to the day before graduation ceremonies. Final clearance. I had a few students email me that they didn't know what was going on final clearance, but final clearance is simply an email that basically says, congratulations, you've met all of the requirements. We're now going to send your name to the dean's office. And then you have to wait for a faculty vote. Once the faculty vote is done, your name is put on a pretty piece of paper and sent over to the office of the registrar as an official document for you to be awarded. You have to have all grades in the system, not on Blackboard, but actually in the system on your transcript and showing. Your comprehensive exam score must be in. Final clearance cannot take place if those two things are missing. So some students will email me and say, I have not received final clearance, and when I review them, they are missing 3 classes with no grades. We cannot review you if your grades are still pending. You have not met the requirement. And sometimes it can take professors the day before a ceremony for them to actually put in a grade. So that is not uncommon. So I encourage you, if you are concerned about something like that, to ask your professors ahead of time if they will be submitting senior grades early. And if you will be taking your exams early enough for them to submit in a timely manner. So as I stated before, once you receive your final clearance letter, that means from that date, your name was submitted to the dean's office for the faculty vote. The faculty vote is done by majority of the faculty here at Howard. At that time, they will review the list of names that I send over to determine if you've met the requirement. There are instances where the faculty may see a name that they would like to question, and in that case, they will send me an email and say, we don't believe that this student has been awarded, should be awarded, can you confirm? And at that time, I go back, I send them the review of your degree works and all your documentation of your waivers and your substitutions, proving that you should be awarded your degree. So that's why it's important that if you have documentation, you submit it, because if your name comes up, I need to be able to confirm that you did meet all of the requirements. Once the faculty votes, they actually put your name on a document. That is the official document that goes to the office of the registrar once it has the dean's signature. And at that time, the office of the registrar will then go through each student and award them their degree with their honor status, and then order diplomas. If you are not academically cleared, please do not panic. Contact me. If you're not able to contact the professor, I will help you through the process and try to get you cleared within the same semester. Sometimes it's just a matter of a technical error with the professor submitting a grade or whatever the case may be. If you don't graduate for a valid reason, such as not passing a course, you do not get a notification from me saying that you don't graduate. It's up to you to contact me to let me know that you're working with the professor and you still want to complete within that semester, or you'll have to return for the summer. In that case, you'll have to do preclearance again for the summer session because you need to be registered for that final course or for the spring semester or whatever semester you have to return. Students who do not pass the comprehensive exam, you do not have to apply for preclearance or graduation again. You only need to contact me when you pass the exam. Then I can finalize your degree because the degree is based on all course requirements being complete. So if you've done all the coursework and you've completed all of the requirements per your degree and you just need to wait for the comprehensive exam passing score, then you just need to let me know when you pass the exam. So in this process, we all have a responsibility. So it is your responsibility to submit for preclearance. Preclearance, it has a website. It is called COAS graduation website. You can Google it. Howard University comes up as the first website. All of the links for every semester is there. Once you receive notification that preclearance for your semester is open, the link it automatically works, regardless of what date is actually on the website. So it's up to you to go in and apply for preclearance. It is up to me as a coordinator to make sure that advisors review you, and then also for me to email you your status. If you do not get information on your status, please contact me. Applying for graduation, once you receive approval, you will receive an email from me saying, we've reviewed your academic records and determined that you met the requirement to apply for graduation. Please go in and apply. The topic of that email will be preclearance status for that semester that you've applied, and it will say action required. That means that there are directions in there that you need to follow in a timely fashion in order to be able to apply on bisonweb. The application for bisonweb does close. When it closes, you are not allowed to apply yourself. You will receive a confirmation page after you apply on bisonweb. Please keep that confirmation page. It is not needed for your preclearance or your final clearance process, but you may need it for other options within your school or college. Pay your graduation fees. Sometimes the university will waive the $100 graduation fee. In that case, you may not see a fee right away. Just contact the bursar and ask if they will be applying a graduation fee. Sometimes the graduation fee is not applied until the actual date of graduation is announced. But you can always check with the bursar or the office of the registrar to determine if a fee will be applied to your account if you don't see it. And then it's up to you and your professors to make sure that your grades are in a timely fashion in order for you to be reviewed and receive notice. It is common for students not to receive notice until 2 days or a day before the actual ceremony. But if you passed all your classes and you passed all your comprehensive exam and the grade is just not in, then there's really nothing to worry about. It's just verification that it's taking so long. So although I'm not responsible for final clearance, I do feel responsible in giving you some information that you would need to know so that you can stay on top of the other offices at Howard University. So financial clearance is normally required for you to actually participate in ceremony. So any outstanding balances, any graduation fees, tuition, library fees, residence life fees that might have been applied, like a broken knob or key or anything like that, can be applied to your account and prevent you from actually walking across the stage or participating in the ceremony. An exit interview, if you receive scholarships from Howard University, yes, you have to do an exit interview with them. At that exit interview, you can ask them in regards to your FAFSA exit interview. If you're going to grad school or medical school or law school or anything like that, I suggest you contact your actual school that you plan to attend to determine if you need to do the exit interview for your FAFSA. The ceremony, you will normally need academic and financial clearance to participate in a ceremony. That means if you have one class or two classes needed for you to complete your degree, you will not receive academic clearance to walk across the stage. And just as a note, it's not something that you actually want to do. A lot of people will say, I'll come back and finish my courses. But they actually got rid of that rule because a lot of students did not return to complete their courses. And also, when you return to complete courses, sometimes the requirements have changed and now you are required to do the new requirements. So I encourage you, if you have to stay and finish out your courses and not participate in the ceremony for that semester, do that. Clear out all of the things that you need to do so that when you leave Howard, you're leaving on a clean slate. So Howard usually puts up a graduation commencement website. Because I have no control over the planning or I'm not involved in the planning, I do not know any other details. I did give you an information sheet in your email that basically was from the year before last that tells you how to order cap and gown, stoles, rings, and what the calendar looked like last spring so that it can help you plan out for the spring that you want to graduate. Normally, the months do not change, just the actual date of the event. So if it was on the 6th this year, then it might be on the 7th next year. Conferring of degrees. Degrees are conferred only during the commencement ceremony. So once you walk across the stage, at that point, the faculty usually has voted or will vote after that ceremony. And then your name is sent in. No conferring of degrees will show up on your transcript. You will not be awarded prior to that. So please keep that in mind when you're applying for grad school, medical school, and law school. Your transcript can take up to 10 weeks for it to be awarded. So you need to ask the job or the grad school if you can submit an unofficial copy until you are able to submit your official conferred transcript. You are also able to submit the letter that you will receive for your final clearance that says you've met all of the requirements to receive your degree. Companies and grad schools usually will take that letter. They will give you a time frame to get your official transcript in, but that will buy you some time. Actual diplomas are mailed from the Office of the Registrar. Usually takes about 30 days after you walked across the stage, but sometimes it can be prolonged if there's an issue with awarding degrees or any other issue that may come up. So honors. Honors distinction is different from the honors program. So this is strictly the university honors. Courses that are repeated to raise your GPA, you are exempted from honors at that point. You do not qualify. If you take a course, for example, if you take sociology 001 and you withdrew from the course, and then you go back and you take the course the second time and you get an A, because you withdrew the first time, it is not considered a repeat course. You are still in the running to receive honors. If you took sociology 001 and you got a D or F, and then you took it again, and that A that you got the second time replaces the D or the F, you now have taken a repeated course and you are no longer eligible for honors. You must also be enrolled in at least 12 credits every semester. That includes study abroad. So if you go study abroad and you register for 12 credits, or they put a placeholder on your transcript for 12 credits, and you only took 9 credits in study abroad for the whole semester, you do not qualify for honors at that time. The only semester that you are allowed to have less than 12 is your final graduating semester. So if you're a senior and you only need 6 credits or 9 credits or 11 credits, then you are still considered for honors. This is your honors distinction. We will not be rounding up. to the nearest honors. We will not be basing it on what you feel you should have gotten. We will only be awarding what you received versus the requirements and the GPA. So please screenshot this, take a look at this, save it. This is what it will be. Now, there are 2 times that I actually pull for honors. If you're a spring graduate, the program book for graduation is done in April. So the first pool of honors may not have your final honors in the book. However, the second time you are reviewed for honors will likely be your official honor status. So let me say that again. To give all the students who have honor status recognition to get in the program book for graduation, your honor status is pulled in April. Once it is submitted, then we submit a second update to the dean's office for programs. However, it may not be the final one that's in your book. The one that's done in April may be the final one if they're not able to update. However, the second one that goes to the dean's office and is awarded your degree is your final one. Medallions and honors cords. This is a question for your department. For the last 2 years, they have not given out honors cords or medallions. So I'm not sure if they're going to continue that practice. That is a question you will need to ask your department or the office of the registrar. Frequently asked questions when you graduate. When are the graduation applications due? Each semester, the application date will change, but you can keep these in mind as these are all around the same time. But usually you will get an email letting you know this is the preclearance deadline and this is the bisonweb application deadline. So you will use the email that you receive for the semester that you plan to finish your degree. If I take a class or I need a class to graduate and it's not being offered, one of the reasons you're being transferred to your faculty advisors is the department or the faculty advisors can make substitutions or waivers on your behalf. So if you have an issue where you need a class but it's not being offered, then talk to your faculty advisor to see if the course can be substituted, waived, or if it's something you can take consortium before you graduate. Right. Make sure you get it in writing if it's substituted or waived, because remember, you're going to have to submit documentation to prove that it was substituted or waived if it's not showing in degree works. Can I graduate with a balance? The answer is no, and I don't advise anyone to try to graduate with a balance because if you try to do that and they waive the fee and let you walk across the stage, what they then do is block every part of you receiving your transcript, your diploma, or anything else until you actually pay the balance. So it's good if you're graduating to leave on a clean slate. Pay all balances before you leave and leave on a clean slate so that once you finish and your degree has been awarded, you can apply to grad school and jobs without any problems. If you're enrolled in a consortium class that does not count towards your degree requirements, will your academic clearance be delayed? Yes, it can be delayed, which is why we don't recommend students take it in their senior year at doing a consortium program. If you have found a consortium program, it's a class you must take. Talk to the consortium instructor to see when they implement they input their grades to see if it matches up with when Howard submits their grades. Check the calendars of the school that you're choosing to make sure that they submit their grades before Howard submits their grades so that you can still make it through the final clearance process. Must all prospective graduates complete an exit interview for scholarships through Howard? Yes. Through financial aid, FAFSA applications, I'm going to advise that you do because that's closing out your bachelor's degree. And if you're going into the master's program, then you would want to do that. However, you can double check with the grad school or law school or medical school that you're attending to determine if you need to do that. Can I walk across the stage if I still have outstanding academic requirements? No, as I stated before, this is not something you actually want to do, as sometimes when students come back, they are now held to the new standard and not why they were denied completion of their degree. So finish everything that you need to do, even if that means that you're not walking in the semester that you plan, and then leave Howard with clean hands. You do not want to finish your degree or walk across the stage with your family and friends and then have to return in the summer or the fall. Anything can happen. And trust me, I deal with a lot of students that this issue does come about. Can you graduate if you have a D in your major and your minor? You can still major, you still can have a D in your minor and graduate. You can look at the GPA in the minor to determine if it's a 2.0 or higher. So if you've gotten too many Ds, then yes, you're gonna have to retake a course. But if you have above a 2.0 or 2-point average in your minor, then you're fine. If you have a D in your major, then we all know the answer to that is no. So let's just summarize the steps again for juniors and seniors who will be applying in the spring. Fall graduates have already done this process. So step one is always preclearance. You have to submit your preclearance application. You'll receive a preclearance status email notification saying you have been approved or you have been denied. If you're approved, then you move to step two. If you're denied, then you can request a meeting with your faculty advisor because the issue will already be in the email that you receive. If you want clarification on your issue, you can request a meeting with the advisor in CAE. If you're moving to step number two, that is your action required email. You go to bisonweb, complete the application. Once you've completed the application and you paid your fee or you're waiting to pay your fee, you're pretty much done with your process. You're waiting for final clearance, which is step three. Final clearance is your grades need to post and your comprehensive scores need to be received. Usually I have all of the comprehensive exam scores. I will only email you if I do not have your score. If you do not receive an email from me saying, I don't have your score, that means I have your score. Students will receive a final email when all grades and comps have been met, and that will be your final email saying congratulations. It will have a pretty card next to it that says congratulations with cap and gown. You met the requirements to receive your degree from Howard. You're now a Howard alumnus. And then you know you've made it. So communications are important. I know that we've had a trying time with a lot of Howard systems, but I try to send very thorough emails, letting you know, transparency, keeping you abreast of what's going on. There will be a period of time during your clearance, for example, for the fall right now, those students who have gotten pre-cleared, they are only waiting for final clearance. So there's nothing that I'm sending them or updating them about because I'm waiting for them to finish their courses and take their comprehensive exam and receive their score. So some people get nervous around that time because they don't hear anything from me. But remember, I'm waiting on you because you are the person who determines if you graduate. So please read those emails. If you have a work study email, you're not receiving emails from me, you can double check because if you ever were awarded work study, your emails may be going to this work study email. So congratulations, you are well on your way to becoming a Bison alumni. This is the website for graduation clearance. And I'm actually going to stop it here and actually go to that website. And I'm going to show you the graduation clearance form. So this is your graduation clearance form. So when you go in, it will ask you for your ID number, your name, your first major. If you're double major, you can drop down. Please make sure, if you're not sure what your major is, you can go to your department website and make sure you're picking the right one. If you're in the BS to MD program, these are separate programs. This is not asking you if you are going to medical school or dental school. If you're not in these programs, then just click not applicable. And then if you're a double major, it will ask you yes or no. If you choose no, it will go directly to the minor option. And if you have double minors, you can put in your option for your second minor. It will ask you your expected graduation date. Usually I only make one semester available for you to choose from. And then down here is going to ask you what your earned credits are. Please go to your transcript and not assume. Go to your transcript, go to the bottom of the transcript totals, and then put in your earned credit totals. And then total up your credits that you're currently registered for that semester. Remember, if you're doing early bird, you're doing your pre-registered courses and the courses that you're currently in. And that should be your total amount of credits listed here. You also need to put in your cumulative GPA. When you put in your cumulative GPA, this is how we filter you for honors. So if you put the wrong GPA, you may be eliminating yourself from honors consideration. And down here, it has a checkbox. It will allow you to choose more than one semester of your comprehensive exam if you're a double major. If you took it in a previous semester, then you'll put the first semester and the current semester if you're going to take it this semester. So double majors usually cannot take both majors in the same semester. You will have to check with your department to see what the date and times are for their comprehensive exam. If you're able to take both of them in the same semester and you want to do that, that is your option. However, it is perfectly fine if you're doing one in the fall and one in the spring. And then here you have your option to upload your files. So at that time, you're going to upload any documentation. If you're an IDS major, your scheme is not in degree work. So you will have to upload your actual degree scheme. You can get it from your faculty advisor. If you're bioethics, environmental studies, you can talk to Dr. Burke. If you are international affairs, you can talk to Dr. Hussein to get your scheme. It needs to be completed and uploaded with your application. If it is not uploaded with your application, you are automatically denied until you upload the scheme. And then down here, you do today's date and the electronic signature, and then you can ask to be sent a receipt of your responses so that you know what you put on the application, and hit submit, and that's pretty much it. Once you do that, I receive notification that you've completed the application. I will then either assign it to an advisor to review, or I will review it myself. Okay. So now I'm going to open it up for Q&A. So if you have a question, you can raise your hand and I will let you know to unmute. Thank you, Jalen. Kiana?
Hi, so on DegreeWorks, majority of my courses are listed under fall through courses. Will they still apply, or what does that mean?
Good question. Are you a criminology major?
Yes.
Oh, that's exactly why. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen again, and I'm going to explain to you how the fall through courses work, because this may be an issue for multiple people. So for DegreeWorks, I'm just going to use a blank screen. When they did the criminology major, they switched over only the major requirements and not the COAS requirements. So when you are doing degree works, you have to use administration of justice and then pick your minor in the fall through, in the minor block, whatever it may be. And then you would choose your catalog year of 2016, 2017. So let me go over that really quickly again. In your worksheet, you will come to the left, you will click what if, change your catalog year to 2016, 2017. And for criminology majors, you have to choose administration of justice because that is the scheme. That was the original name of the criminology scheme. So the scheme is complete under that major. And then you choose your minor. Once you do that, you hit process what if, and then it will show you all of the requirements and where they fit in. Now, if you see a fall through course, fall through does not mean that the class does not count towards your 120, because a lot of students have mistakenly saw fall throughs and said, I'm going to add it to this applied number. But remember on the alert, the only courses that don't count towards your 120 are the academy courses. So everything in that fall through is already being applied either in your earn or your applied. So if you already got a grade and it's in the fall through, it's going towards your earn. If you're registered for it, it's being applied to your applied. So there's no need to add that. So if you're at 115 and you have a 5-credit course, physics, sitting in your fall through, you don't add 5 to the 115. That 5 is already included in the 115. So if you only have 115, that's pretty much what you have as earned credits. And you can double check by going to your transcript total, and you would add your total earned plus what you're currently registered for. It is likely you're going to get 115 again, because remember, your transcript does not break down your courses and schemes. It only totals every class that you've ever taken and earned credits for. Ella?
Hello.
Hi.
So I saw during the discussion about honors that it said if you have credits from outside university within the last 60 credits, then you're not eligible. Is that correct? Like including summer courses and transfer courses?
No, that's not. It's a blanket statement, but it only really refers to students who transfer in credits, a massive amount of credits.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Chelsea?
Hello.
Hi.
For some reason, it doesn't let me see my minor requirements. I'm a communications minor and a criminology major. So when I process the what if and I put 2016, it only shows me for criminology, well, administration of justice.
Yes, so it used to be that you had to use the catalog year of 2013, 2014, because that's when the communications minor was listed. But I think they removed the communications minor because at the time, strategic legal communications was the only minor. They had removed the media, journalism, and film. But it's not a problem as long as your minor is listed in the block at the top. Then we literally just go through your degree works and find your communications requirements. Just know that you need 18 credits in that minor.
Okay, but how am I going to be able to make sure like I'm on the right track for my minor?
I can send you the minor scheme. If you send me an email, I can send you the minor scheme.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Greg?
Yeah, thank you. So I had a question about incomplete. So if you're in the process of clearing an incomplete with the professor, since that process is so much between student and professor, if I want to apply for preclearance, is it enough to have like a note from them or like a explanation of the situation?
So good question. So here's the thing with incompletes. It depends on what the incomplete is. So if you have an incomplete D or incomplete C or incomplete B, then a passing grade is a passing grade, within the major or the minor or the divisional requirements. If you have an incomplete F, then you have an unmet requirement. So you're automatically going to be denied because incompletes don't, there's nothing to record that grade will change. Now you can put the notation in there or a note from the professor saying that they submitted a grade change or anything like that to help your process. But once the grade actually changes, is the only time that we can update your status.
Okay, so they would just need to say, I am going to change the grade at some point, or if they fulfill these requirements, I will change the grade.
Correct. So normally what happens is students will submit something from the professor said, I'm currently working with Asia to complete these requirements. Once she has completed these requirements, I will submit a grade change for the new grade. That's your documentation, just in case something happens later on and we're still waiting for the grade change, or the professor says that they don't remember saying that, then that is your documentation for us to continue on with the process. But it is good to actually still do pre-clearance because then I have record of you and I can assist you through the process. I can't tell you how many times a professor would do a special grade report and it's sitting in somebody's box to actually be signed, because there is a two-step process to actually doing a special grade report. So it's not just the professor submitting it. It literally has to go through 2 or 3 people before it's actually processed. So still do pre-clearance. Just know that you're going to be denied if it's a major requirement that you need completed. And then once the grade is inputted, you just let me know, and then we can review you and update your status.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Hadia?
Yeah, hi. So for a class like swimming, that's a COAS requirement, but hasn't been offered for the past couple semesters, that would be one of the ones that we would go to our advisor about to substitute. Would that be the route that I should take?
So no, let me just make this announcement because I'm going to make this video available. So we're currently in a pandemic. While we're in the pandemic, there are not going to be any swimming courses, any physical swimming classes. You will have to substitute that swimming course with another HHPL requirement. So if you have 4 HHPL requirements, which means you have 1 swimming, you have 1 lecture and 2 activities, instead of doing swimming, you would do 2 lectures and 2 activities to complete your 4 requirements.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense. Thank you.
You're welcome. And we actually do send an email notification out to, when you get notification that your semester for applying for graduation is open, at the bottom of it, I always put a notice about the HHPL.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Chelsea and Ella, your hands are still up.
Oh, sorry.
Is this, I can't pronounce your first name.
Nandi?
Oh, okay, Nandi.
Yeah, you're fine. My question, I actually have 2 questions, but the first one is in regards to the honors distinction. So I know that you said like if you withdraw from a course and you retake it, like you won't get an honors distinction, but don't you have to
No, that's wrong. If you withdraw from a course and you retake the course, you're still considered for honors.
You still are?
Yes, a W is not considered a letter grade. So you can still be in the honors running. It's when you have to replace the grade with another grade. You have gotten 2 letter grades, you're now exempt.
Oh, okay. And my other question was for people who come in with a lot of credits. I know you said the last 60 credits thing. Can you just clarify on that a little bit about that rule?
So Howard has a rule that the last 30 to 60 credits have to be taken in Howard in order for you to reach the residency process and be considered for honors. So for example, I'll give you a prime example. A student had like 58. She had taken 58 credits at Howard, transferred in 60, but she completed her requirements. So technically she's exempt from getting honors because she's 2 credits short of making 60.
So as long as you have taken 60 credits at Howard, you're good.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, but usually that doesn't really carry over to students who started your freshman year. You do more than 60 credits. So that rule really applies to students who try to come in and transfer every course and they don't take enough Howard courses. So that's really why that rule is there.
Okay, I was just asking because I know I came in with almost 60 credits, but I know that I've taken almost as many at Howard. So I was just making sure.
Okay, yeah, just make sure, and you can check your transcript totals at the bottom. You'll see how much your institutional credits are, and that's how you keep track of it.
Okay, thank you for the clarity.
No problem. Afro-American Studies class currently counts as an Afro cluster and a divisional B. Is that okay? Yes, it is okay if those two count. That is a requirement, but keep in mind you only got 3 credits for that. So if you show up 120 credit, like 3 credits short of the 120, keep in mind it may be because of that Afro cluster. And in that case, you just need to replace it with another 3 credit course. You're welcome, Hadia. Oh, she's already gone. Any other questions? Layla?
Yes, sorry. Thank you for answering my last question. I was also going to ask you, I'm a Spanish minor and legal comm double minor, and I came into Howard. I took the Spanish test, so I was cleared for, I didn't have to take 3
1
semesters.
through 4?
Yes, I believe either 1 through 3 or 1 through 4. But my legal comm minor, is that okay if those credits make up the Spanish credits? Because I've been told that I have to make up those requirements since I passed it.
Yeah, so you probably already made up the credits with the second minor.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? If you are a junior or a senior, I am no longer your advisor. Juniors and seniors have to go to their faculty advisor. I have been moved to freshman and sophomore psychology advisor. My only responsibility with juniors and seniors is actually just doing a graduation form and making sure that you apply for preclearance and are reviewed. So unfortunately, I am not advising juniors and seniors right now. But I can give you the name of your actual advisor per your department. So if you're not sure who you're supposed to be reaching out to within your department, send me an email and I will forward you the name of the person. If there are no other questions, I'm going to go ahead and end this session today. I want to thank everyone for coming to the graduation forum. I will be sending out follow-up email just to let you know everything that we've discussed and also the video for those who had to leave early. So thank you guys for staying until the end, and you have a great weekend.
Thank you, you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.